I am cindyann, and I help successful divorced women to attract a healthy relationship where they feel deeply secure and fulfilled without the fear of making a mistake again or ending up alone.
I'm Abby. I'm a busy mom, and I help high achieving single women overcome their fear of getting taken advantage of, stop pushing men away, and invite the secure and loving relationship of their own dreams.
I'm Emma, and at 46, I attracted my first healthy relationship after overcoming my chronic people pleasing. I now help successful single women to find the loving and committed relationship they have always desired.
Join us for coffee and coaching conversations, where three experienced coaches answer your love and dating questions. See you there.
So, welcome to Coffee and Coaching Conversations, Love and Dating, the podcast where love coaching and personal growth intertwine to empower you on your relationship journey. So, I am here today with Abby, who is in Ohio, and cindyann, who is in Seattle. And we are going to be talking to you about red flags. So let's go to you, Abby, first. What red flag do you want to talk about?
Okay, so the one that came to mind for me was one that I think is a little can be hard to spot sometimes, but when you meet somebody for the first time, you're just getting to know them, you can sometimes feel as if the chemistry is off the charts. And oftentimes women, I know I've had this experience in my past. I've had this with clients where they get so hung up on the chemistry and they're so that they don't see anything else. I've heard them say things like, "Oh my gosh, he is the best sex of my life. We've never had, he's just, it's like we're just like this, just fiery, passionate." So I don't even know how to word this specifically, but it would be something like, you know, chemistry and nothing else, or off the charts chemistry. Because oftentimes, this is what I've seen many times with women, is that when you get that, there's something about the physical chemistry, or the, if it's really really sexual, or really, that oftentimes this guy is triggering something wounded in us, or triggering something from our past patterns, and it feels like it's that, oh, it feels like home. It's the sort of dynamic that you just roll right into because you were used to that even from your childhood. And I know that can sound sort of icky to use in the same phrase with sexual chemistry, but I think it's what feels natural. It's that, oh, this just works. It just really works, and we're just, and oftentimes in the middle of the chemistry, we don't see that there could be a wild dynamic where this guy's actually kind of breadcrumbing you, or he's actually kind of, you know, too much. Like he's got like a controlling streak or some anger management stuff, but it just feels hot somehow. It feels like natural and it feels right. So
Mhm.
that would be my biggest red flag for women, is to check the chemistry. If it's really hot, really heavy at the very beginning, step back and ask yourself what else you see with this guy. And if you're connecting on other levels, um you know we love a good slow burn. you know for
Yes,
as coaches,
Absolutely.
we love to see, I mean, you end up getting the best relationships when it starts off a little slowly. So I'm always sort of like, whenever I hear someone say,
Mhm.
"Oh, it was amazing, we did this and it was so great," right off the bat. So
Yes. Um, I'm going to add to this a bit, and that is that to your, to how it feels normal to have this intense chemistry with someone. That's your normal because that's how your relationship probably was with your father.
And that feels, and to go into all the psychology of that is one thing, but just to say that then it feels normal to be with someone who has that intensity, because that your father was probably pretty intense. But I do want to say that I was in an Uber last week, and the Uber driver, female, had said to me, I am not, she goes, well, she goes, she was talking about da 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 da, and then she said, oh, I'm just having, I cannot meet someone. I'm 25 years old. I've not been able to meet anyone. And I said to her, oh, well, great. I'm a love coach. So let's talk about your history. So, and that was it. She goes, I just like it when men just come right at me and want me. And I said, well, there is your inner child, your unhealed, daddy issues, if you will. And, could not even be meaning daddy issue. It could be, stepdad and or the father figure that was in your life. And so anyway, I say this and she's like, oh, okay. I said, that's like an ocean coming at you. And that feels so good. I said, what you would like is to look out at the calm lake. When you see calm lake in a gentleman, then that is probably the more the person that you want to spend your time with, which you said slow burn, Abby.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, there, just to add on to that, which I love.
Can I? Sorry, just kind of to add to that. I think the trouble is the people that like all that chemistry, they find it so exciting. The calm lake is just going to appear boring.
Yep.
And that's exactly what you said. So here's the Uber driver saying, but that's so boring. I don't want that.
Yeah.
And then I said, it's not though, but you just give it a little bit of a chance, because all of his goodness is going to start coming out. And then you're going to be like, oh, okay. And because what gets you, so first 2 years, sure, you can have all that chemistry and hot and heavy, but what's going to get you after 2 years, maybe even 5 years, I couldn't even say go be hot and heavy for 5 years, but after that, it's that whole, how do you operate together in everyday life is what makes the relationship work long term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the pieces that I wanted to bring up as a red flag was going to be when somebody that you're talking to online dating, and or maybe you did meet him at a restaurant or something, but he's texting you often. He's texting you 3 times a day. And then maybe he even texts you before bed and then another time. And so then that's like turned into 5 times in a day. I would really like to say that is a lot of texting from one person that you just met.
Yeah.
And yes. And so I would say that could go into the pot. And then he does it the next day and the next day. What we as coaches would call that is love bombing. So what you would want to do is probably just walk away, go in the other direction, start putting your energy into someone else. Because if he's starting out with that pattern, which is kind of an unusual, unhealthy, would be what we would consider to be attachment style of anxious attachment style, right? Then we would say that that's probably someone that needs to do some work and do some healing, and that you might just want to consider keeping your eggs going in other baskets.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's something too, because women can sometimes, I have a past experience of that where I would connect with guys who would just sort of be like all over the place, and I'd be like, oh no, look at this, they're just all over me and they want to, and then you find that that's really unsustainable because that person just can't connect, they're they're coming at you from their own insecurity, not from a growing relationship or a growing connection. You know, you need to grow. And one thing, if I could, is that
Please.
what's the flip, not the flip side, but with a secure guy, it'll start to grow, you know. So say you're meeting and you're texting once or twice once a day or once or whatever, you know, he's giving you a good night call and it starts to go, time will go by and it'll start to increase the closer you get to him. So a secure guy will actually start, as time goes by, it'll grow. It doesn't start like, with deluge
That's
effect
great.
in contact.
Super great advice, Abby. I love that. As time goes by, it starts to grow. Then the texting starts to grow. So that's awesome.
What do you think, Emma?
Yeah,
know,
no,
Emma.
I would agree. I would agree. So my red flag is around emotionally unavailable men. So that would be where, you know, there's a lot of inconsistencies in terms of them getting back to you. So it's very sporadic, and it has that kind of feeling of crumbs, the sort of, you know, the feast and famine. And you just kind of, you don't really know where you stand. They don't make solid plans with you. It's all a bit vague. You know, they don't introduce you to their friends. And so, yeah, again, it's you know, I've experienced this, and for me it was sort of like, well, we could always justify it with something or other, but it's about kind of really being honest with yourself about, you know what, I'm not getting the right level of communication, the right level of committing to plans and making arrangements. And so, you know, I'm going to call it a day and walk away.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. To add on to that, I would say that I'll have friends and or clients say to me, oh yeah, he got, you know, I had this great conversation with this guy, da 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 da. And then it was so weird. I didn't hear from him for a week. And then he came back at me a week later. And I was like, okay. And then, you know, and then we had great conversation for another day. And then he asked me out. And then I said yes and when, or, you know, you said it how, you know, properly. And then he didn't respond. And I thought maybe we'd go out that weekend. And then he didn't even get back to me till Monday. And then I'm like, there's your answer.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's your answer. That's an emotionally unavailable man. He is not that's his style of thinking that that's how he can have a relationship with a woman. And that's not the type of relationship that you're looking for.
No, absolutely. Because with secure men, you know exactly where you stand. You get the right level of communication, you get the right level of planning, you know, you get asked out, all of those things. And if you're not getting that, then there's something else going on.
Yeah.
And Emma, I'm so glad you said that, because now we said the red flags. And so I think one of our next episodes will be, these are the qualities that you see in a secure man.
Yeah.
And they're quite different. And we can't wait to share that with you in another episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. And to add to that, if you'd like to find out how to break through your specific barriers to experiencing the love that you know you've always wanted, click on the links in our description below to schedule a free one-on-one breakthrough session with any one of us. We love to help you receive the loving, long-term relationship that you've always wanted, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Bye.